Hello and welcome back to another video of my Ford pickup. If y'all have been watching the videos, y'all should be keeping track of what's been going on so far, what I've been doing to it and everything. Right now, the truck is sitting. I'm not even gonna lie, I was planning on doing a driving video for y'all. I was gonna drive it and show y'all how it drives. But I was driving it, and a dude was checking out that truck right there. Now, this story's fucking weird. Dude hit me up on Marketplace saying, on Messenger or whatever, wanting to buy that. Just wanting to look at it and see what type of motor it has, whatever. So, I'm searching for him in this truck. I'm searching for him all over the place. Can't fucking find the dude. So I'm sitting over here hauling ass down the road, back down, hauling ass. Torturing the fuck out of the go-go pedal on this poor girl. But anyways, I finally met him down the road. Went to go turn around to come back because we were going opposite ways. I was going away from the house. He's coming towards it. So I told him, I said, I'll turn around and meet you over there. Well, I started pulling forward into the next driveway. And the truck starts, starts hesitating, backfiring, popping, freaking the fuck out. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with this piece of shit? Turns out, fucking fuel pump went out. Now, what I first thought was, because on that truck, there's a switch, so you can switch it over to this back gas tank. I thought it was because I ran out of gas in the back tank, and it just clogged up the system with whatever shit's inside that gas tank from 10 years or so. Turns out, it never switched to the back tank, because the switch right about where the tire is, about where I'm pointing underneath the frame, is completely bypassed. It's only the front tank. It's only the front tank. So I was like, what the fuck? And it turns out, I did not know this until the other day. These late 80s model Ford pickups, I don't know about the 90s model, but they have not one, not two, but 3 fuel pumps in these bitches. One in each tank, and one right about there underneath the door. These two fuel pumps are just a pickup pump. It gets it right about there. It gets out of the tank and lets it kind of gravity. Right about there is a high pressure pump, which pumps it up to the engine. I don't know which one of these 2 pumps are out. I know this one just doesn't work whatsoever, just because of the fact this tank ain't been used in fuck knows how long. So it's one of these 2 pumps that are out, and I looked it up, and I think that one is about $75, and this one's close to $100. So hoping it's that one. But upgrade-wise, I've done on the truck. Not really much to tell. Got a new phone holder because the other one was absolute trash, and this one right here, and I can actually clip my phone up and record with it. Tachometer still needs to be hooked up. Right now I freaked it the fuck out when I turned it on, so now it's stuck on like 10,000 RPM or 11,000, whatever. Added this hillbilly shit because I want to piss off a whole bunch of liberals, and I got bored and spent $8. It's just a piece of conduit, a 22.5 conduit, 2 half-inch brackets, a connector so that this doesn't move forward or backwards, 2 self-tappers that I found, and these are actually these types of bolts for the tailgate. Got them off of that truck right there. And then 1 single bolt and a fuck ton of super glue to hold this bitch down. Went ahead and did 3 zip ties on it just because of the fact I didn't trust the fucking staples that was in it, because be going down the road and the motherfucker would just fly plumb off, so I went and stuck those on it. This is the roll bar that I don't even know if I mentioned it in the video or not. But this roll bar is going to go on this truck. Still need to cut these off. Already cut a center mount off. It had one of these roughly about here. I went ahead and cut it off because I only have 2 KC lights. I don't got 3. And this is the paint that it's going to be. I was just kind of experimenting with the paint. And for y'all that want to know, let's see if I can find the spray can around here. Oh, here it is. Rust-Oleum hammered paint for like mailboxes and all that shit. Just outdoor paint. It looks kind of rough, which I did that just to hide all the mistakes on this. But That's what I'm using on it. That's what I'm going to paint this with. Still need to figure out what I'm going to paint this truck. I'm really debating between black, white, somewhat considered yellow, a turquoise green color, and I've actually found a kind of a darkish light blue. Y'all need to let me know what color this truck needs to be, but I got this done. This was the seat that was in that truck originally. I got the seat out of that truck over there in here. This one right here is a solid bench with two halves for the extended cab variant of the truck. So it's split in the middle and they fold kind of inwards. Let me see if I can get the lever. So they fold in like that. Alright. Still haven't done the floorboard because I'm fucking lazy. And I did put these on it. They had about 5 horsepower. Mint. Took these motherfuckers off. These are from the muffler back. So these right here is what hung out the side. The reason why I took them off, sorry my hand's getting in the way of the camera. The reason why I took them off is because this side wasn't even attached to the fucking muffler. It had the original mount right here, had a fence tie about halfway, and a fence tie over the axle. And it wasn't connected to anything. It was just sitting there flopping all over the fucking place when I was driving. It would sit there and slap the bottom of the truck and everything. So I was like, that one ain't connected to anything. So I went ahead and looked at the other side. When I went over here to the other side, I reached down here, grabbed the muffler or whatever, and wiggled it. It didn't seem pretty stiff. Looked underneath here, and it was actually just pushed into the muffler. It wasn't attached whatsoever. And it had fence ties holding it up too. Right now I still need to hang the muffler back up because there's nothing holding it up right now. It's just kind of dangling there. But so I'm gonna strap those up. Need to find the exhaust leak because there's an exhaust leak like right underneath the cab, so this bitch is loud as fuck. Be funny if it's right off the header. Then of course if it's right off the header I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, there's the lines hanging down for that fuel pump. I went ahead and took it off so I could test it. Another issue I found about this truck is I noticed the other day after I bled the brakes and everything, it stopped good. I started to realize it was starting to lose brake fluid. I was like, where's the fuck is that brake fluid going? When I went underneath here to look at the exhaust, brake fluid all over the fucking wheel. So that's a rear wheel seal that I need to buy. That's also on the fucking list. So the list of shit that I gotta do to this: wheel seal, Ferd, fuel pump, roll bar, and whatever else I want to fucking do to it. I don't really care. Now, there is one thing I'm really debating. Depending on what color I'm going to paint the truck, I'm actually debating about what I'm going to do in the floorboard when I actually redo it. Because what I had thought was I was just going to take the floorboard, slap it down in there, and rhino-line it. But the donor truck has red carpet. And I don't know if I want to deal with carpet or not. But if the truck is a decent color, I might consider putting in red carpet. I need to see if that amplifier works, because I don't know if it will or not. It's been in here for God knows how long. But and this truck right here is still for sale. No one's bought it. No one's bought it yet. I've only had one person come up here and all he wanted was a catalytic converter. But that truck is still for sale. Anything that's on it right now is for sale. Only thing is, if you want the whole fucking truck, you're going to have to wait until I cut the floorboard out of it. But then, of course, there is a chance with me not using the floorboard at all, because I actually found a guy that has like a, I don't know if it's aluminum or if it's just a piece of sheet metal, but it's really thin so you can actually shape it with your hand almost. I might just stick that in the floorboard. I don't know. But these right here came off because I think the engine mount's busted. I'm pretty sure, because I didn't notice when I was driving the truck, I would actually floor it in first gear, and the fucking shifter would move about 4 inches over to the side. I was like, yeah, engine mount's definitely broke. Turns out it actually pulled these off for the intake. I didn't even notice it. So whenever I towed the truck back around here. I towed the truck back around here. We actually shot ether down our throat and it still didn't work. Oh, back to the story, because I completely got fucking sidetracked because I'm an idiot. So, a dude was wanting to buy the engine out of that truck. And we met him, of course. And when I went to go, oh wait, I did say everything, did I? Oh yeah, that's where I was. It was starting to pop and everything. And it was because of the fuel pump, like I said. So I had the buyer of this truck tow this truck home. So we had to tow me home to look at this truck. He towed me to the front yard in front of the house over there and left it right over there. So it took me 2 or 3 days to actually not be lazy and tow it around here. So now it's back over here for me to work on this piece of shit again. Still need to figure out what's fucking wrong with this taillight. I think this taillight's possessed. I'm not so sure, because brake light does not work whatsoever on it. Blinker works fine. Hazard works fine. Running light works fine. But watch this shit. Seriously, I don't know right now. If I reach inside the truck, every now and then I gotta pay attention, because if I reach over here, let me turn the key on. Well, never mind, I'm not gonna turn the fucking key on just because of the fact it's gonna pour fuel out from under it. But if the blinker works just fine, left blinker works just fine, but if that stick, actually, I think it's something in the stick is wore out. But you can actually take the stick and stick it about right there. As you can see, it's not in the center. And when it's right there, like after me accidentally hitting it with my hand or something, that light stays on until I push it back up into position. If it's sitting down there just a little bit down like it was, this light is on for some reason. Don't know why. But the brake light doesn't work, so I don't know. Was debating about putting these tires on this truck, but I have an OCD issue and I don't want 2 different fucking tires on the axle, because none of these fucking tires are the exact same. Actually, I take that back. Can't remember which tire is it. Is it that one? Yeah. Okay. These 2 tires are the same. That one was in the bed of the truck. This one was already on the truck, of course. They're both the same exact tire. They're both BF Goodrich all-terrain TAs. I was like, you know what? I might just stick these on. I noticed that one over there had a little bit more tread on. I was like, it's fine. It'll eventually even itself out, hopefully. Started looking at it. Had them on the ground and everything, just kind of looking at them. First of all, I noticed this one didn't have white letters. That one does, which kind of aggravated me. I realized this is a, let me make sure, because I'm not going to say a random number. I just know it's the wrong one. There it is. These are 33s. These are 33 inch. This one's a 35. Don't know why they're 2 different size tires, unless the dude that owned the truck before got this tire just because the fact it was the same brand and didn't pay any fucking attention what size tire it was, because that tire's 2 inches bigger than that. I don't know. They're the exact same tire, just 2 inches difference. Same size rim and everything, just 2 inches taller. But yeah, that's about it. But this seat right here, I put in the back just because of the fact, for those people that know me personally, know that I have band. And besides playing, most the other, like half of our band is playing. The other half is lugging equipment like drums, brass instruments, and all that shit from the school all the way to a whole parking lot about 1/16 of a mile down the road. So we'd usually have to walk, unless someone, of course, wants to give someone a ride. They load their shit up in the back and go. Well, I was like, I got a pickup truck. It's a single cab. I can only haul one other person. I'm not going to put anyone in the center just because it's a standard, and just because of the fact I don't want no one that close to me. So I stuck this. So I was like, I'm going to stick this seat back here. So if 2 or 3 extra people want to ride, they can just sit here. And then, of course, it still got the perks of it being a original truck seat, so I can flip it forward and pull the lever up there, scoot the seat forward, stick my toolboxes and everything right here, flip it back, and scoot it all the way back. Right now, it's all the way back. And I intentionally left it this far away from the cab at its farthest point back, because this is where the roll bar is going to be. The roll bar is going to be about this big around right here. And it's going to be about this tall. And what I'm thinking about doing is taking a bar from the top left corner, either that or just a little bit inside the corner, and coming down to the bed rail rather than the base of the bed, because it'll be in the way of the seat. So I'm going to take it from either the corner or a little bit farther in to the bed rail. So it'll still serve the purpose of a roll cage. It'll just give room for the people sitting back there. And eventually I might stick a LED light or something in the corner on the side just so there's a light back here in case anyone's riding back here. But let's see. Most people already know, but I'm showing them again. Put these 2 Trump stickers on it because they add 5 horsepower. See if I can get it without getting the sun in the middle of the camera. Y'all probably saw it just fine. I just couldn't really see the screen because it was blinding me so bad. Trump 2020. Make liberals cry again. Trump 2020. No more bullshit. Now on the tailgate, tailgate's down and I'm not going to pick it up. Get off my ass or I'll inflate your airbag. And I might get a few others. A friend of mine, he actually watch my videos sometimes. If he does, if he even does, he probably won't. But it's a sticker. And I'm probably gonna stick it probably right here on my dash, or maybe right here, somewhere on this side of the truck. It's a sticker that says truck rules, and it's some funny ass shit like don't tell me how to drive and all that shit. And at the very bottom it says just sit down, shut up, sit down and shut up. Failure to comply would result in you walking home. But back to these mufflers. This one was the one that was just dangling all over the fucking place. End of it's rotten the fuck. Right here, the whole side of it's rotten. This one, on the other hand, was the one that was actually attached. Now, it had some weird janky shit going on with the attachments. But look how many fucking holes are in this thing. This muffler wasn't doing much. It was letting air out the end of it just a little bit. Because it also doesn't help that both the mufflers have holes rotten in the bottom of them. Thanks, Ford. No, I'm kidding. I'm hating on Ford just because I can. Oh, and I have had people tell me, it's like, you always talk shit about a Ford. How come you have one now? I said, they said, so that means you own a piece of shit? And I tell them, like, no. I still very heavily dislike Fords. Only thing is, this Ford is a good Ford. You know why? Because it's mine, bitch. But, so, I did get this $200 Pittsburgh toolbox for this truck because I was tired of borrowing my stepdad's tools. All the stuff. Torques, flatheads, screwdrivers, little bitty screwdrivers. 3 sets of pliers. I don't know where the second one went. I think I was using it somewhere. Oh, here they are right here. Pair of dikes. And crescent wrench. All that. Wrenches. And all types of fuck weird bits. I mean, there's a whole bunch of T-bits. A whole bunch of Allen bits. Some ordinary bits. These. And then swivels, Allens, even more Allens. And then if I pick it up, my 3/8 drive ratchet goes here, my 1/4 inch drive ratchet goes here, my 3/8 is right here, my 1/4 inch is over there. And all the stuff is here, 3 different extensions, a breaker bar, deep and shallow, metric and standard, with adapters. And then this one has the big boy. Big old 1/2 inch drive, 2 extensions, really fucking giant 24mm socket. I don't think I've ever found anything that needed a 24mm. But yeah, that's the toolbox. And then of course, if you're a guy, you would understand. A guy can never have enough tools. I just completely fucked over this whole thing. That's a 7/16. What the fuck is this? That is a 3/16. Wait, what the fuck? 3/16. What the fuck? Oh. Wait, so is that a 7? Oh, everything got moved over one. Okay. I was so confused. What the fuck? That's a 1/2 inch. This is a 11/32. That's a 3/8. That should be a 5/16. Yep, okay, so they're all back. Alright, like I was saying, ask any guy in the world. There's no such thing as enough tools. So, after I bought that, there were so many tools that I needed. So I got this from Harbor Freight. By the way, just to mention, Harbor Freight has the cheapest prices. If I was you and looking for tools or whatever, I'd go to them. Got these two pairs of channel locks, an angled and a straight, from Woodson's, using the family discount, of course. A pair of Stanley metric Allens that I've had for 2 or 3 years. These are the KC lights that I'm going to put on top of the roll bar. These right here I actually found on the floorboard of the donor truck, so they're free. This is another Harbor Freight tool. It's a palm wrench with just about every fucking size known to man. So, it's pretty fucking handy. Got a needle nose vice grip, and a normal vice grip, and like five files from Walmart. Bag of black zip ties, because right next to duct tape, zip ties is a white boy's favorite thing. Got a random hammer in the lug wrench that I found in this truck in there too, but whatever. So yeah, I was just making an update on how the truck's been so far. Not really much else to tell. Oh, I did put new door locks on it just because of the fact that there's no ignition to it, so might as well put door locks on it so I at least have a way of locking up the car, which then of course, either way, with how many dumb fucks goes to my high school, 1 to 5 at the most actually knows how to drive standard. So, whatever. Then of course, it's got to take someone a little bit smarter than a box of rocks to be able to turn on the truck, just because of the fact you got to push this forward so many clicks and then hit the switch. Now I had to grind down the edge, because on this dash it has this edge around it. Actually, I had to grind it down and put this piece of plating here because I ended up making the hole too fucking big, and I wanted to add this switch. This switch is going to be for the KC lights that are going to be up there. So I went to go put this one on the original dash mount, and it did not fit. Like, these two couldn't fit side by side without the hole showing or something like that, bothering my OCD to all the fuck. So this one's the starter. And of course, when y'all last seen me start this truck, it was just a push button. I think, I'm not so sure. This one right here, you flick this up, and then once it starts, you flick it back down. Just kind of like a racing style switch. And then this right here is just a plain old switch. It's going to be for the KC lights. Still haven't hooked them up just because of the fact the roll bar ain't up there. But I do have a wire running from the battery to the switch, but no wire from the switch to the lights. Still need to figure out how to hook up this motherfucker. I had 3 wires hooked up. I mean, there's 4 wires in total. It's ground, key power, illumination, and distributor. I had all of them hooked up except for this bitch right here, just because of the fact it's supposed to go to the coil, and someone said it needs to go to the negative side. Some people said it needs to go to the positive side. Thing is, I just don't know how I'm going to run a wire from this all the way to over on the distributor, just because of the fact, without causing a fire. I did get a new dimmer switch in my floorboard out of the donor truck, of course. I've just been robbing parts all the time. I even robbed this nice chrome window crank and door handle from it too. Those are nice. Got speakers inside of here. You can't really see them, but they're Pioneers. Got the radio to fucking work. I don't know if my last video even had a radio in it, but I fought this bitch for days, because it was to the point to where it was halfway hanging at the dash, and you had to kind of adjust it just a little bit, kind of wiggle it, turn the key on, and it'll sometimes turn on. And if you just touch it about this much, it'll turn off and won't turn back on. So I had to figure out how to get it to work. Took me 2 or 3 days, and finally figured out all it was is because I was running my ground to the original harness. Like, I was running most of the wires to the original harness on the truck, so nothing was really working worth a crap. And what it was is the ground running into the original Ford harness must have had a bad spot in it, because it was the ground wire. I took the ground wire off and ran a self-tapper straight through the frame of the dash, and it works just fine now. Only thing is, this radio, ever since my parents bought it from day one, which was 4 or 5 years ago, this bitch will never keep memory. You take it out of demo mode, turn the key off, turn it back on. If you turn the key off and turn it right back on, it'll keep its memory. But if you turn the key off and leave it off for like 5 minutes, it loses all the memory except the channels and the Bluetooth devices. Because this right here remembers Bluetooth devices, so it can instantly connect to them and not have to go through a weird process. But if you take it out of demo mode, it goes back into demo mode. So I do not know how to get this radio out of demo mode. Every time I crank the truck up, I got to go through the settings, change the lights, and change the sound for it to sound good, which is ridiculous. But I'm going to put that amp in the truck, and this piece of board I done walked on 15 million times since the start of the video. This board right here only cost me 20 bucks with the Woodson family discount. I'm going to build speaker boxes because I don't even know if we can see it from here. A little bit. Way the fuck back there. There's a red 2000 Durango back there in the field that has an old speaker set that I had in the house. I had a whole station with it had like 4 tweeters, 5 or 6 speakers and everything, so I'm just gonna put them in. Anyways, that's it, and I'll see y'all next time.